Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the two new Chantecaille Luminescent Eye Shades. These are the two shades that they've come out with for their fall collection. So I have the shade Leopard, which is this beautiful brown, and the shade Tiger, which is this lovely green shade. So first I'm going to swatch them on my hand, and then I'm going to do one on each eye. I'm going to apply them dry first, and then I'm going to build them up with a wet brush and see what kind of impact I can get with that. I'm also going to have a few comparisons with other shadows in my collection that I think might resemble these. So if you'd like to see all of that, just keep on watching. So there is the Tiger shade. And there is the Leopard shade. These feel to me a bit smoother than the other two luminescent eye shades that I have. It could be because of the way they are in the pan. Like if you look, this is the cheetah one. You can see that it has a different kind of embossing in the pan, whereas these ones have a much more sort of smooth embossing. Obviously I ruined it with my finger there, but it's not textured like the other one. But the shadow itself, both of these felt a little bit less sort of glittery than the other shades that I have. While I'm talking about them, actually, I'm gonna swatch these two as well. So I have the Elephant and the Cheetah from their previous releases. So there's Elephant. That to me looks a lot shinier, especially than this one. Looks like it has more different sized glitter particles, bigger glitter particles in it. And then here is Cheetah, which I always found Cheetah to be a little bit smoother and less glittery. It's just sort of more like a high shine compared to the Elephant one. But I still think that this is looking a little bit shinier even than these two new shades. I'm gonna try adding another layer of the new shades on top of where I've already swatched to see if that would enhance the shine a little bit. Maybe a little bit, but still I think these have less glitter than these ones. So that's Tiger, Leopard, Elephant, and Cheetah. All right, let's get to trying these out on my eyes. I'm gonna start with the Leopard. I'm taking my Sonia G Lotus Worker brush, just going right into that pan. And I just have a little bit of concealer on my eyelids. I used the Armani Power Fabric Concealer today, so I'm just patting out a little crease there. And I'm gonna add this right onto the lid. I'm gonna switch to my soft shader brush because it's a little bit smaller, easier for me to have control over where I'm placing the shadow. Can get into the inner part of the eye better. Looking at it on my eye, I can see a lot more of the shine and dimension than I was seeing in the swatches, which makes sense because your eye has that natural curvature that's going to show off the different aspects of the eyeshadow. And I think this is a beautiful color. It's kind of a chocolatey brown. It's a little bit cool toned, but I can see that there are some warmer toned goldish kind of shimmers in there too. So it turns out to be a really nice sort of chocolatey bronze type of shade. It's applying super easily, blending out beautifully. And it's just great as a one and done shadow. All of these luminescent shades are. So that's how it looks dry on the lid. I'm going to put it on my lower lash line too. I'm just kind of curious to see how it looks. So I'm taking my Lotus Builder brush from Sonia G. It just has a little bit of a smaller point to it, and I'm just gonna really lightly just kind of shade that along the lower lash line. All right, so here it is dry. And now I'm gonna just spray a little bit of Fix Plus on my brush. And go right into the top corner here, just in case it creates a hard pan. I think these can be used wet or dry, so it shouldn't be an issue, but just in case. So I've got my brush loaded now, and I'm adding that wet shade, and you can see it's a lot shinier now. Oh yeah, it really brings out that sort of golder, it's almost like a rosy gold shimmer in there. It's really pretty. Really enhances the impact of that shine. So there is the Leopard shade with a dry base and with the shadow wet on top of it. Now I'm going to move to the other eye and do the same process with the Tiger shade. I've dried off my brush and wiped off all the pigment. So this shade to me is looking more shimmery right off the bat, even when it's dry, than the Leopard shade. It's a really gorgeous color. It has a darker base, kind of like a grayish black base to it. I don't know if, yeah, you can see it kind of there. With the green, of course. I would consider it an emerald green. So I'm going with my builder brush again, and I'm going to pull it along the lower lash line. I'm really pleased with how easy these shadows are to blend. You could do a one and done eye look very, very quickly with these. So here's what the Tiger shade looks like dry. And I'm gonna wet my brush again and see how it works wet. And again, it's really bringing out that shine and shimmer, and it brings out the green color more. It makes it a brighter green when you wet this shadow. Oh, it's stunning. That's what Tiger looks like wet on top of dry. The Tiger one is really blowing me away. The shine on it is just so beautiful, and it feels unlike any other shadow that I have. I have one that I'm going to compare it to, but there's just something about it that is so vibrant yet nuanced, and the shine on it is really, really gorgeous. And the Leopard shade is stunning too. If you want a one and done brown shade, that's just fabulous. But the Tiger one is really the one that is making my heart sing. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I want to get into a couple of comparisons. I'm just going to put some mascara on first. I'm going to use the Chantecaille Longest Lash Mascara. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to come back and just do a couple of little comparisons. All right, so for the Leopard shade, I wanted to compare it to this darkest brown shade in the Tom Ford First Frost Quad. I just thought of this shade when I initially saw that Leopard shade, so I wanted to see how they would compare. And they're similar types of formulas too. They're both kind of baked, wet dry type formulas. So there's the Tom Ford, the deep brown in the First Frost Quad, and then that is the Leopard shade. So I can tell right away that the Tom Ford is a cooler tone shade. And the Tom Ford and the swatch is looking a little bit shinier too. And I think that holds true to when it's on the eye too. The Tom Ford has a little bit more of a shine to it, whereas I find the Chantecaille one almost like in between a satin and a metallic. It's not a really bright, shiny metallic, but I feel that it is shinier than a typical satin shade. But I think when you look at these two, they're both similar in how smooth they are. They're both very lightweight, kind of thin formulas, and very, very smooth both in the swatches and on the eyes. And I think that's because they are both those baked formulas. And then for the green one, the one I wanted to compare was from the Mothership. I think it's the Mothership 2 or 3, I can't remember, from Pat McGrath, this green one right here. And this shade is called Blitz Emerald. So again, this is a baked formula. And there is the Pat McGrath Blitz Emerald compared to the Chantecaille Tiger shade. They're quite similar shades actually. I think I can see a little bit of almost like a slightly purple shift in the Pat McGrath one that I don't see in the Tiger shade. And again, in the swatch, the Pat McGrath does look a bit shinier than the Chantecaille, but I find that when I have the Chantecaille on my eye, I mean, you can see it's really bright and shiny, especially when it's wet. So I think in the end, you're probably going to get quite a similar result from both of these shades. They both have that darker base mixed in with that sort of brighter emerald green. So I think that's it for me for this video. I do want to let you know my friends over at Beauty Has Been, I'm going to link their channel below. They're running a giveaway. I think it's on the Leopard shade on their channel. So if you haven't seen them yet, or you haven't seen that giveaway video yet, go check them out. They've also done a couple of videos on both of these shades as well. That's a really good resource for you as well. All right, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. I'd always love to see those. And if you'd like to see more from me and you haven't subscribed to my channel already, I'd love for you to do so. Thanks again so much. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.